He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Monday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us. Obviously a ton to react to. Monday night's preseason opener against the Pittsburgh Steelers. There was some good on Saturday night. There was some not so good on Saturday night. We'll kind of get to all of it, a little different spin on a couple of things. Obviously, want to spend some time on Cam Little. I got a thought about that coming up in one moment. The Saints coming up on Sunday, preseason game number 2. How much more will we see the starters? Will we see the starters anymore? There's a lot to dissect from that vantage point as well. And all of a sudden, you look at that sports calendar, we've spent so much time with Jaguars and being immersed into training camp. We are now inside of 3 weeks away from the start of the college football season. In fact, 19 days away from Florida, Florida State, Miami. They're on Labor Day weekend, so we'll do a little college ball tonight as well. Guest lineup looks like this. Coming up here in a little over 10 minutes, my Jaguar training camp one-on-one with tight end Hunter Long. Hunter Long is a guy that spent some time with the Miami Dolphins and the Los Angeles Rams. He was actually in L.A. last year with James Gladstone. Gladstone gets the job here. Hunter Long is one of the free agents the Jaguars brought in. I had not had a chance to talk to Hunter Long before this morning. I enjoyed that conversation, and you will hear my chat with Jaguar tight end Hunter Long. That comes up in a little over 10 minutes. And the coach, Gerald Ingram, will join me in about 25 minutes' time. Gerald Ingram, 28 years as a football coach, collegiately or in the National Football League. 18 of those years as a running back coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Football Giants. Gerald Ingram will join Leon Searcy and myself on the 5th quarter, starting September 7th here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. So we will have the coach, Gerald Ingram, join me tonight here on Hacker After Dark, less than 30 minutes from right now. We will also give away one spot tonight for the Hacker Fantasy League. The draft is next Thursday, August the 21st. The location is Twin Peaks at the corner of Atlantic and Kernan. 116-team league. If you think you are the best fantasy football player that listens to 1010XL, you will have your opportunity to prove it tonight by joining the Hacker Fantasy League, one of the 16 coveted spots. And we're running out of spots, too. Over half the league is full. We'll give away one of those spots within the hour tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Every night on HAD, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night. And Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
No, because it is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
A lot I want to say about the game Saturday, but let me say this in regards to the Cam Little 70-yard field goal. You know, I was fortunate enough to be in the age range, like a lot of you, late 30s, early to mid 40s, where I have basically grown up, become a man, and had my own family going to games in that stadium, right? Whether it was Jacksonville Municipal Stadium or then it was Alltel Stadium, and we've had a lot of variations. Obviously, it's now Everbank Stadium. And there's been a lot of memorable experiences in there, most of which are in the postseason or the regular season, obviously. The Cam Little 70-yard field goal, which is just ridiculous. I mean, it's stupid how good it is. would have set the NFL record by 4 yards. No one in the history of the National Football League has ever kicked a ball between the uprights 66 yards or more, or 67 yards or more. Cam Little kicked at 70. Crazy. Preseason-wise, probably the biggest memory in that stadium in 30-plus years, right? The only thing that's even comparable in the preseason was when Jack Golden, the linebacker of the New York Giants, tackled his own guy after an interception, causing a fumble. The Jaguars recovered and won the game in what is still one of the craziest preseason plays you'll ever see. Aside from that, and I think the Cam Little field goal surpasses that, it's the most memorable preseason play we've ever seen in that stadium in 3+ decades. Where does it rank among moments in that stadium all time? Well, that's for you to think about and decide. It's obviously an opinion-based topic, but I got such a kick about people on social media, usually non-Jaguar fans on Saturday night, saying, well, it's the preseason, so it doesn't matter. The NFL record is still Justin Tucker. Preseason this, preseason that. And you may be right. You know what my response was all of Saturday night? Who gives a crap? From now on, Cam Little, regardless of what he does from here on out, unless he does it again in a bigger situation, but Cam Little, whether it's his record in the record book or not, will be known as the guy who kicked a 70-yard field goal. Yeah, it was preseason. Who cares? Cam Little became a figure on the sports map on Saturday night, and that was certainly fun to see, and it was fun for, I'm sure, you Jaguar fans to witness. A big moment, just like we've had so many in that stadium, which is coming to an end in a certain instance. Again, the stadium of the future, not far away. To the game itself. I actually had very little problem with the game. I don't care if they win or lose. That means nothing to me. Winning preseason football games. The Jaguars went 4-0 in the preseason last year. How did that work out? Winning, losing, who cares? The problem I had was everything Liam Cohen mentioned. Self-inflicted deals are just maddening. How do you start the first play of the season or the preseason with a penalty? How is that even possible? Penalties, drop passes, missed assignments. It's kind of like deja vu from last year. Now, last year, that happened in the months of September, October, November, and December, all too frequently. At least this year, it's only happened in the month of August. If they get all of that out of their system in the month of August, we won't be obviously troubled by it in a couple of months. Heck, in a month. But if that pattern continues, well, that's an issue. And I thought it was pretty interesting today that they did an entire period at camp, and Cohen talked about this in his press conference, where they weren't even worried about running plays. They wanted to get lined up accurately. They wanted to, as he said, get the cleats in the ground and functionally get in position and do all this stuff. That leads me to believe the coaching staff is very unhappy. But you don't need me to tell you that. Just listen to Liam Cohen. That's what I love about the guy already. Doug Peterson doesn't really do that or didn't do that in 3 years. We could never really get a good vibe on Doug, whether he was angry, upset. He was kind of the same person, whatever he was talking about. Doug Marrone, like Doug Marrone, was a fan of Doug Marrone. He was aloof at times. Urban Meyer isn't even worth talking about. His press conferences were a joke. Liam Cohen, if he's mad, you're going to know he's mad. You're going to know pretty quick. And I got a feeling Saturday night he wasn't happy. I actually got a feeling today he wasn't particularly happy, which is why I think tomorrow's practice and Thursday's practice could be very, very intriguing when they go back into the full pads to get ready for Sunday's game, preseason week number 2 against the New Orleans Saints. Quickly, I was fine with the offense, penalties and drops aside. Run defense was good. Pittsburgh only averaged 2.6 yards per carry. No issues there. The pass defense was terrible. It was. Now, were they being vanilla? Were they not showing stuff? Were they not blitzing? Yeah, that's all plausible and probably factual. But our job is to react to what we saw. And what we saw on Saturday night in preseason game number 1, pass defense was not good. It left a lot to be desired. And now we find out Tyson Campbell did not practice today. And now that leads the mind to wonder what's going on there. More on that in a moment. My Jaguar training camp one-on-one with Hunter Long as well. Jaguar tight end. That comes up in less than 10 minutes. We're glad you're with us. It's a Monday night. A lot to react to. Preseason is underway. Jaguar training camp in full go. Again, tomorrow and Thursday's practices this week, I believe, are both going to be very, very spirited. Cannot wait to be down there for both. I was down there today at the Miller Electric Center. Talk with Jaguar tight end Hunter Long. You'll hear that conversation next. And if I were a betting man, I would say your shot in the Hacker Fantasy League draft is also coming up right here on Hacker After Dark.
He's not a senior citizen. He's Jacksonville's senior writer, John Osher. And knows your favorite football team. Wednesdays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Jaguars football is officially back. Be there as number 2 overall draft pick Travis Hunter, quarterback Trevor Lawrence, and new head coach Liam Cohen take the field for the first time during the 2025 NFL regular season. Secure your seats for when the Jaguars take on the Panthers September 7th by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
The boys are back in the kitchen.
Don't start the barbecue without me.
Joe, Matt, and Leon give you plenty to chew on during lunchtime.
Freshly baked bread
From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
Thank you for lunch, boys.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Yo, Jacksonville, Hickens Hype, Checkmate Coatings crushes it with floors I'd put in my own pad.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coatings. We coat it all: garages, pool decks, driveways, and patios. Be the envy of your neighbors.
Rush to checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold's recently hit an all-time high at over $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Yo, E.T. here, and I need you to beat the heat this summer with cool escapes and non-stop fun in Clay County. Tackle indoor adventures head on. Throw axes at Live by Axe or smash your stress away at Just Smash That. Then kick back with drinks, good food, and fandom vibes at Nakama Anime Bar or Leaderboard Arcade and Bar. Whether you're blowing off steam or just looking to chill, Clay County got your perfect indoor getaway. Find your cool at exploreclay.com. That's exploreclay.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yeah, it was solid. He went out and did his job. The one to BT was something that was kind of a scheme error in a way. He could maybe see that safety and move on and progress. Don't force it in there, but that was also a crappy play call. So I'll take some of that one. But I thought he operated well. We didn't ask him to go and do too much, but it was just solid from an operations standpoint for sure.
The thoughts of Jaguar head coach Liam Cohen earlier today at the Miller Electric Center, that courtesy of our friends at Jaguars.com, talking about the performance of Trevor Lawrence on Saturday night in the preseason opener. Well, look, again, if they start 0-4, the narrative is going to change, and I understand that, and so do they, by the way. But that's another check mark to me in the Liam Cohen basket. Taking accountability, man. I mean, how many times did we sit here over the last 3 years, and I don't mean to badmouth Doug Peterson, right? Of the two, Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke, Peterson was the better, soundbite, was the better guy to talk to as far as getting anything from. Neither one were great in that department, but Peterson was superior for whatever that's worth. But Doug, to me, did not take a lot of that. Like if there were bad play calls or whatever, play designs, I didn't hear a lot of accountability a lot with Doug Peterson. You already did with Liam Cohen, and he's never even coached a regular season game. He said, yeah, that play where Brian Thomas almost got blown up on, said it was a crappy play call. He said, I'll take some of that. That one's on me to an extent. Love that, man. Love the accountability from the head coach. So it's nice to see. It's refreshing to see here in the city of Jacksonville. My Jaguar training camp conversation, my one-on-one conversation with Hunter Long, Jaguar tight end, is less than 1 minute away. Jacksonville, if you believe that you're one of the best fantasy football players that listens to 1010XL, we have the HFL draft coming up next Thursday, the 21st. Twin Peaks at Atlantic and Kernan. 16-team league. It's a tough league. If you play fantasy football, you know how tough 16-team leagues can be. We ask two things of you, all right? These are the two requirements to get into the draft next Thursday. One, you're available on Thursday evening/night, August the 21st. That's important. And number two, don't come by yourself. We want an atmosphere. Bring some people. Bring the family. Bring the buddies for a night out. It's a Thursday night. Bring the family and the buddies. The more, the merrier. But if you can be there on the 21st, and if you'll bring some folks with you, that's all you need to get in the Hacker Fantasy League. In fact, we will take caller number 4 right now at 641-1010. And Dylan Denmark will hook you up with one of the 16 coveted spots. We haven't done this in 3 years. We haven't done the Hacker Fantasy League since 2022. It's come out of retirement, if you will. The public outcry was huge. Had to bring it back, and we did. It's changed up a little bit, but we brought it back. But if you want to be in, if you want one of the 16 spots, be caller 4 right now, 641-1010, and you can have a conversation with Dylan Denmark, and he can explain to you that you're in the 2025 HFL. My Jaguar training camp one-on-one with Jaguar tight end Hunter Long right now on Hacker After Dark. Jaguars wrapping up practice at the Miller Electric Center. We got Jaguar tight end Hunter Long with us here on 1010XO. Hunter, how'd it go out there today?
Good, just coming off a game, clean some stuff up, and just keep building this thing. It's early on in camp, and just keep gelling as a team, keep building, keep getting rid of the errors and making plays, and that's all you can do.
25 points for the offense on Friday, or Saturday night, rather. How do you think it went overall?
Yeah, definitely stuff to clean up. Thankfully it's preseason, so we have time to clean it up, and we will. But definitely flashes of making plays, and do more of that and less of making mistakes, and we'll be all right.
You were in Los Angeles last year with James Gladstone. Obviously, he brought you with him here to Jacksonville. What did that mean to come with the GM?
Yeah, it meant a lot, being wanted somewhere. It's always better than not being wanted, But it was awesome, coming here. Mostly new coaching staff, a lot of new guys on the team, building a new culture, a new dynamic as a team together. It's been fun to be a part of. Very
different tight end room than what the fans have seen here the last couple of years with Evan Ingram's departure, Brenton Strange, but a couple of new guys, Johnny Munt, Quentin Morris. Kind of how has that vibe gone in the tight end room so far?
Yeah, it's been great. Tight ends are always a great group of guys. Just meshing, bonding together as a group. Becoming better friends and on and off the field, helps everybody play better. But it's going well, pushing each other, out there making plays, so that's all I can ask for.
A couple more for Jaguar tight end Hunter Long as the Jaguars get ready for the New Orleans Saints this Sunday. Obviously, it appears to me in Liam Cohen's system, the tight end need to block. That's a big part of what's going on. Do you take pride in that element?
Oh, yeah. Take pride in trying to be a well-rounded tight end. Keep building at all phases of the game, but definitely ask the block. And I love doing it. When you dominate the line of scrimmage, you're gonna win more football games than you lose. So it's fun.
As a veteran, preseason game 1 compared to preseason game 2, how different do you expect it to be this Sunday for what the fans see, what the guys put out there on the field?
Yeah, we're just building towards the season. Preseason game 2, you just hope it's cleaner and better executed than preseason game 1. That's all I can ask for. So that's what we're striving for and hoping to accomplish this weekend.
As we begin to wrap up, Liam Cohen, Grant Udinski, what's your thought on the head coach, the offensive staff here in Jacksonville?
Yeah, they've been great so far. Leading this group, bringing this group together, installing a new offense is always tricky, especially an offense like this. It's so in-depth and complicated, but it's guys are picking it up. Guys are bought in to the new system, and it's going to pan out for us. We just got to keep building this thing.
Final football question. Travis Hunter, BTJ, Diami, ETN. There's a list of guys I could name. There's speed all over this offense. Do you guys sense that when you're out there?
100%, and we're going to utilize that this year as much as we can, and it helps the tight ends too when they're taking the top off the defense, and we can be outlets underneath. It's good complementary football, and it's really what you're striving for.
Leave us with this. What are your initial thoughts on Jacksonville when Hunter Long's not blocking people and putting people into the ground? What are you doing here?
Yeah, still getting settled in. I like it so far, I love Florida. Weather has been hot, but, it's mostly good weather. I haven't done a whole lot, if we're being honest. I've been on Neptune Beach a few times, had dinner out there. It's a great little vibe.
Been pretty busy the last couple of months.
Been pretty busy. Football takes up a lot of the time, so can't be too mad about it.
Well, Hunter, welcome to Jacksonville. Best of luck on Sunday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
There you go, Hunter Long, Jaguar tight end. And look, to his credit, he did have one of the drops on Saturday night. I had to wait probably 20 minutes after practice because Hunter Long was over the jugs machine for that entire 20 minutes, just catching balls. Every 5, 6, 7 seconds, these balls would come out, and Long was over there with a couple other guys, and they were a couple of the last guys off the field. Love to see that. There were too many drops on Saturday. Let's be real. There were too many drops, too many penalties. That was concerning. But I do want to highlight some good things. And one of the good things was Bashell Tootin. All right. And, look, I know a lot was made out of him being the fastest guy at the combine. Bashell Tootin broke some tackles. Bashal Tootin showed a lot of strength as well. In fact, Liam Cohen talked about Bashal Tootin earlier today down at the Miller Electric Center. He was one of the highlights for the Jaguars on Saturday night against Pittsburgh. Here's what the head coach thought about Tootin's performance on Saturday.
Yeah, I thought he ran it pretty well, actually. You know, I thought from a physicality standpoint, if you're going to take the positive from the other night, was on both sides of the ball was physical. We stopped the run and we ran it okay, but we ran it when we kind of needed to and became a little bit more of a throw game. But I thought he did some nice things. He was able to make some guys miss in the hole. He ran hard. He had good ball security, so I was pleased with Tootin.
Yeah, I was pleased with Tootin, too. I'll tell you another rookie, and I'm going to talk to the analytics. You know, we're going to talk to the analytics, the decimal points, the number crunching, all of that with Daniel Griffith of Action Sports. He comes up probably 45 minutes or so from right now. Daniel's all about the analytics. If you follow him on Twitter, he's a terrific follow for things like that. PFF is obviously the national one that does all the analytics and number crunching. You know who PFF loved on Saturday night? Was Jonah Monheim, the 7th-round rookie from Southern Cal. Loved him. In fact, Monheim, I believe, took 41 snaps at center, did not allow a pressure on Saturday night, for whatever that's worth. Take that and do whatever you want with it. I'm not saying he's in competition for a starting spot, but for a 7th-round pick to come in there and perform like that, that's something, right? I don't know what it is exactly, but it's something. I thought Wyatt Milam played pretty well, the 3rd-rounder out of West Virginia. So from a rookie standpoint, and Travis Hunter, that goes without saying. By the way, the narrative about Travis Hunter Saturday night nationally would be so much different if he didn't slip. If you look at that second catch, the one where he gained like 6 yards on a 3rd and 12 or whatever, he was going to get to the outside, and that was going to be a 15 or 20-yard gain. He just slipped, and that allowed the defensive back to get to him and limit him to about a 6-yard gain. If that thing goes 20 instead of 6, it's a completely different narrative. I also thought it was really interesting watching Brian Baldinger. I love Baldy's breakdowns that he does on social media. There was one play. Everybody's talking about the fact that Travis Hunter let Caleb Johnson get outside and gain, 7 yards and didn't get him to the ground. Whatever. I'm not paying Travis Hunter, and I'm not moving up 3 spots in the draft to draft Travis Hunter for my number one concern to be him tackling running backs on toss sweeps, okay? I'm drafting Travis Hunter to be a terrific wide receiver and to shut down opposing wide receivers. And there was one play in particular where he literally ran Roman Wilson's route. Roman Wilson for Pittsburgh, the tape is crazy, and Baldinger kind of goes over this. Travis Hunter was on him like there was no chance Wilson was going to get the ball because Hunter ran the route. Hunter knew exactly what he was doing and actually cut before Wilson cut in the same direction. It was wild. And as a result of one of the plays that Hunter was in there, that's when I think it was Rudolph didn't have a chance to find anybody downfield, and DeJuan Smoot got that sack. So just think about some of those instances before you start criticizing Travis Hunter for not getting a running back to the ground on a toss sweep. All right. Should he have gotten him to the ground? Maybe. Am I worried about it? Not at all. Speaking of running backs, Gerald Ingram coached a lot of running backs in the NFL, did so for many, many years, including right here in Jacksonville and a couple of Super Bowls with the New York Giants. He's going to join Leon Searcy and myself on the 5th quarter this year. What did he think of Saturday night's festivities? We'll talk to Gerald Ingram coming up soon right here on Hacker After Dark.
Now this is how you end a summer. Under the lights, surrounded by history, the driver's last shot at the playoffs, your last chance to see regular season action. Friday night, Xfinity lights the fuse. Saturday night, the Cup Series delivers the fireworks. This is Daytona. This is everything. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 22nd and 23rd. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
When your plumbing backs up, your septic's acting shady, or your AC quits on a 95-degree day, who are you going to call? Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Don't take just our word for it. Here's what real customers are saying about their experience with our company.
Megan in the office was so helpful and polite. Scheduling was easy, and the tech showed up right on time.
From plumbing and septic to air conditioning, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
I know you love sports, so why not take that passion and make a difference in your community as a volunteer coach with the YMCA? Whether it's soccer, basketball, volleyball, or flag football, the Y is always looking for positive role models to help kids grow in both skills and character. Even if you've got no coaching experience, that's fine. We'll provide the training. Step up, give back, and be the coach that makes a difference. To volunteer, visit your local Y or fcymca.org.
For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacresporting.com.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for the Jaguars and proud member of Jacksonville's newest orthopedic dream team. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we brought together 10 board-certified fellowship-trained surgeons, each one a specialist in their field, all working together to deliver smarter, faster care with better results. From sports injuries to joint replacements, we've got the right player for every position. Visit osjax.com and meet your team. That's osjax.com.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. We haul construction debris or property cleanouts for managers, owners, and realtors. We do it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has two epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
60 days from now, you'll be one of these two guys. The first guy, sluggish, foggy, and feeling like he just can't keep up like he used to. The second guy, driven, strong, and confident. Why? MailXcel's breakthrough microdosing protocol, a daily low-dose testosterone. You don't have to be the first guy anymore. Be the second guy. Take the same steps he took. Try MailXcel.com. 100,000 men chose wisely. Your move.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Jaguar preseason game number 1 in the rearview mirror. Game 2 comes up this weekend in the preseason when the Jaguars head out to the Bayou to take on the New Orleans Saints. Week 1 of the regular season is September 7th. That's when you will have the debut in 2025 of the 5th quarter. Here on 1010XL, of course, you'll have myself, the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy, and this year the coach Gerald Ingram will join us. 28 years as a coach, including 18 in the National Football League, a couple of Super Bowl rings as well from his time with the New York Football Giants. Coach was down at training camp earlier today, and he's always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, how we doing?
Wonderful. Blessed to be able to spend time with you guys and talk ball and see some good football and good teaching going on out there, because there's a lot to learn these days.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Coach, let's rewind the clock back to Saturday night. It was a loss, but at the end of the day, who cares what the scoreboard says in the preseason? From a mile-high view, your thoughts on Liam Cohen's debut and how the team looked on Saturday in the preseason opener?
You know, I'm going to be positive about what I saw and what I've seen. I think he's done a pretty good job. I think he was able to do what he wanted. He was able to stick to his 15-play script. You know, obviously he was able to get the ball out to the people he needed to, the people that wanted to see certain people, even though that isn't part of the game plan, you know, but it was necessary at the point in time. But he was able to stay on track and do that. Now, was he quarterback friendly? Yeah, he was very quarterback friendly. Is what the quarterback needs, and it's what the head coach needs. He needs to put him in a great situation. He put the offensive line in a good situation that they didn't have to protect long, and they did a good job of protecting him. So the ball went out when it needed to come out. There were certain progressions. I thought the quarterback did a pretty good job. I thought he was pretty calm, you know, within that. And Liam was able to show himself a little bit and say, you know, I'm going to test these guys. It's 4th and 1 in minus territory, and I'm going to make the offense understand that, hey, if I ask them, because I believe in them, that we're going to get the first down and we're going to continue to drive, and the defense is going to rise up if we don't make it. That was a coachable moment. So I think, you know, this whole preseason, you know, for years we always had an objective from the standpoint of coaches. It wasn't about, you know, winning and losing to a certain extent, you know, because Tom Coughlin always, you know, believed that the culture of winning is everything to a certain degree. But when you have the objective of, hey, all right, this week we're going to play zone. Next week we're going to see if we can play man. You know, we're going to see where our tight ends are. If we can't get the ball to our receivers, you know, how many balls can we get to our tight end in a one-on-one matchup situation and win? You know, such as New England with Gronk. You know, you got to have this toolbox when you go into camp to figure out, you know, who you trust, who is thriving to make this team, you know. So I thought there were a lot of coachable moments to this game. Now, was everything positive? Not at all. Do we have a lot of things to learn? We have an awful lot to learn, you know, about a lot of positions and group positions, you know. So I think it came away with a few people trying to show themselves, and they did. I thought Pittsburgh played a tick faster because they have they have more of a veteran crew together, you know, just a tick. But I think there was enough to learn from, you know, from the standpoint of the staff. You know, there's 12 guys on the field. You know, there were penalties. You know, there's enough to coach off of. So I thought it was a pretty good day. And then going into next week, we'll see if we get a little bit better and find out who are our top 25 on both sides of the ball.
The coach, Gerald Ingram, with us here on Hacker After Dark. Coach, I agree. And Pittsburgh has been together a lot more, even though they did not play a lot of their main guys. A lot of their backup players have a lot of continuity with one another. Look, and I thought, from my own mile-high perspective, I was fine with the offense. I liked the play calling. I thought, obviously, the drops were an issue. The penalties were an issue. But when it wasn't self-inflicted wounds, I thought the offense was fine. My biggest concern was the pass defense, because there's no sugarcoating it, Coach. And again, maybe they ran a vanilla scheme and they didn't want to show their hand, which is all plausible. But from what we saw out there on the field Saturday night, the pass defense left a lot to be desired.
Well, kind of like you just said, I felt both sides left. The offense left some yards on the field, and the defense gave up some yards on the field. And there were some, you know, there were moments where the defense did some good things, and they did some, you know, they were, you know, the later groups, you know, they were able to stop some drives here and there. But, you know, your starters can play faster, they can react faster, and they have to diagnose a little bit faster. And I think what happens is, you know, we used to call it as coaches, you know, the spring ball mini camp syndrome. You know, you play against each other every day, that all of a sudden you play against somebody else and you're not quite sure how to react. So how they have been looking in practice, where they may have looked a lot better and quicker because they game plan against their own offense every single day. And now they have to get out there and react. The thing I was a little disappointed in, and I know Liam is, you know, as you're playing field position football, do people react to what the route combinations are? You know, what did you think was going to happen in this situation? Don't make it that easy for that quarterback. Yeah, we're simple. We want to see you play on your feet. We want to see you play faster on your feet, you know, to the point where you're not having to dive after plays and do those kind of things and, you know, kind of do the things we ask you to do every day, but recognize it, see it, and respond to it, you know. And I think next week, you know, it was awakening for the defense to a certain degree, you know, but I think they can pull enough positives. We've got to get some quality players in certain key positions back. And there were some guys that were, you know, happy to see, you know, thrive to make this team.
Couple more for the coach, Gerald Ingram. Coach, let's go rapid fire. Want to hit a couple of topics with you in our closing moments. Number one, let's go to your bread and butter. 18 years as a running back coach. You coached a lot of really good ones, from Fred Taylor to obviously Brandon Jacobs, Tiki Barber, on down the line, James Stewart, Natron Means. You've seen a lot of great backs. I'm not saying this guy will be one of those guys, but it was a nice start. Coach, I like Bashel Tutin, the rookie from Virginia Tech. He found the end zone with some assistance from the big uglies there pushing him on the offensive line. But what was your thought about Bashel Tutin's preseason NFL debut?
I thought it was a great start for this kid. I really liked how he approached it. He wasn't intimidated by it. I think he proved that he fits. I think they have it right now, you know, between the three, unless something else happens. I like his body style. You know, he's a little compact guy that plays big. You know, I've had small players, and you know, you put them in different categories, but you know, it's just like you were saying earlier today in practice, Maurice Jones-Drew. You know, they're small guys don't. I mean, if a small guy plays big, he's a player. Okay, and to me, I'm looking at his calves, his solid calves, the way he runs, he keeps his feet moving. I thought he was generating, you know, a spark for those guys on the field, and he was trying to make plays. And I'm looking forward to see how he turns out.
I'll obviously want to talk to you about a 70-yard field goal here in a moment. You've been around the game for a long time. I've never seen anything like that. I'm curious if you have. But before we get there, a quick thought on Travis Hunter and what he did on Saturday night.
Well, I think, you know, I think having a guy like Travis is phenomenal. It's something, you know, to watch, because I hope he elevates everybody else. He's such a great kid, and time will tell to see how things go, because from a coaching standpoint, you're always trying to make an offensive player become better by learning defense, and you're trying to coach defensive players offense to become a better defensive player. Here's a guy that's been playing both ever since he got into the game. Now, some of us guys, you know, I was a two-way player in high school. This kid's been a two-way player all his life, from high school to college to now the NFL. Now he's got to play amongst the best of the rest every single down on both sides of the ball. How they use him, that's up to them. This kid looks like he's got stamina. He's smooth. He's relaxed. He looks like he can handle a lot of pressure. He's not afraid to handle those things. Can that continue on? That would be great. If he can do what he does, he will elevate everybody. If he can be a playmaker that we think he's going to be, he's going to elevate this team. He's going to elevate this quarterback. So we're pretty excited about this guy.
Coach, 60 seconds, a 70-yard field goal. 28 years for you as a coach. You know, you as a player, you go back almost 3.5 decades now. Have you ever seen anything like that in practice or a game?
Never seen anything like it. It was phenomenal to watch happen. And like you and I had talked about, the 50-yarder, you know, he made all these kicks. So, I mean, you want to talk about a pleaser for the defensive coach, the offensive coach, you know, the head coach. You know, it kind of changes you know, what you can actually do in situation, and the players, responding to this guy. We hope that we get the consistency through the season with him, because it's such an upside to have a threat like that. But to see history, that's a hell of a thing to do.
It was crazy, and like we talked about, the 70-yarder was the highlight. The 52-yarder was a great kick because there was a lot of pressure on him. Would have left a bad taste in everybody's mouth had he missed the 52-yarder, which is nothing to sneeze at, and he goes and drills that one as well. Absolutely wild. Coach, leave us with this. Final thought. Preseason game 1, now preseason game 2. Is there a big difference for the young guys after a game under your belt? Will we see a difference on Sunday in New Orleans?
Yes, I would like to think the coaches went into the meetings and the kids got a chance to see all the coachable moments and say, you know what, from the outside looking in, that, hey, I got to thrive to make this team. I got to make this top 25 on both sides of the ball by not only my knowledge, but how fast I play. I just got to see more reckless abandon. I think you're going to see that in this next game. That, time's running out for some of these people, and they got to make a mark. They have to impress people, and I like to see a faster game. I think New Orleans is going to play more man coverage. They're going to test our guys, which is great. We need to see more competition in situations, one-on-one situations. And, I think you're going to see each week, you're going to see a better, more intense, faster game.
The coach, Gerald Ingram, 18 years on the NFL sidelines. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings, and starting September 7th, he will be with me and Leon Searcy for the 5th quarter right here on 1010XL. Coach, appreciate the time. I'll see you out there at practice this week.
Looking forward to it. Have a great day today.
The race is on.
Closing the gap.
Saturday at Richmond.
Fighting for every point.
NASCAR is tuned up by Maxie's Mechanics on Jacksonville's high-performance NASCAR station, 1010XL.
Let's get the work done.
Training camp is here.
Up, quick feet.
1010XL's training camp coverage is backed by Roland Reach Plumbing and Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Go, here we go. Let's go. It's live now. Let's go.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roofing Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through August 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roofing Contracting, protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Every NFL season starts with the fundamentals.
Gentlemen, this is a football.
Nobody covers camp like 1010XL.
And each year, there's a new challenge.
Powered by Roland Reach Plumbing and Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends the Cleaning Freaks at Zero Res. Back to school special with those guys. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135 plus a free hallway and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of these huge savings.
Looking for your new favorite hangout this football season? Try Voodoo Brewing Company in the heart of San Marco. Locally owned and community-focused, Voodoo Brewing serves up award-winning beers, scratch-made upscale pub fare, and laid-back vibes where everyone's welcome. For live music, trivia nights, and all the football action this season, make Voodoo Brewing Company Jacksonville your new favorite spot on San Marco Square.
Rock fans, get ready. Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs are rolling into the Florida Theater Thursday, August 14th. Founding member of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Mike brings raw rock and roll, killer guitar riffs, and that unmistakable edge. Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs. Tickets now at floridatheater.com. Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs, August 14th at Florida Theater.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
If life blindsided you tomorrow, was your family struggle? I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial, and I can help. One call could protect your family for life. 904-885-9566. Harborstone Financial.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This just in on Hacker After Dark.
You know, we're going to go down to Gainesville coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. Graham Hall, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247, as the Gators are entering week 3 of camp. They are 19 days away from their regular season debut on Saturday, August the 30th, and they get some good news tonight as 4-star wide receiver from Frisco, Texas, Davion Gross, has picked Florida over Baylor, Houston, and Oklahoma. Now, Denmark, you are the track guy here. Gross won the Texas State title in the 200-meter dash with a time of 20.52 seconds. So I'll rely on your knowledge for that. I'm assuming that's pretty fast.
That's about running about a 10.3, 10.400. If I had a match, yeah, that's pretty fast.
So Florida got a really fast wide receiver from Texas tonight.
Yeah, he's only $170. So usually, if a guy has a smaller frame, you make up for it with your speed. So yeah, it checks out.
4-star wide receiver from Frisco, Texas, for Billy Napier and the Florida Gators. I also thought it was interesting. Look, it's DJ Lagway's team. I mean, that's goes without saying. But from a local standpoint, you see the reports coming in that Tramel Jones from Mandarin has looked very good in Gator camp. Look, Tramel Jones was a heck of a player. Remember, he was committed to Florida State for a while, and then he flipped to Florida. We did not get to enjoy Tramel Jones last year under the Friday Night Lights because of an injury that happened, I believe, in like week 2 of the year. He missed basically the entire season, but he appears to be healthy now. And Denmark, I did take notice of that. It's cool whenever Jacksonville guys go to these big schools, particularly, you know, Florida, Florida State, and Miami, obviously, and do well. It appears Tramel Jones has done very well early on in Gainesville.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those reports, and it's good that Florida is getting back to a little bit of this Jacksonville pipeline because for a while there, if it seemed like there was no Jacksonville guys going down to Gainesville or making an impact, and now it's changed in the last couple of years. And also to add some more news to Gainesville, L.J. McCray, I'm sure you've seen, he got hurt. The defensive end from Daytona Beach mainland. Hopefully he can play because he can be a force to be reckoned with if he's able to go. And you need him when Florida plays LSU in Miami.
Yeah, Florida, and again, we're going to talk to Graham Hall about all this. Florida's got a lot of injuries right now, but none of them, knock on wood, appear to be major injuries. There's a lot of day-to-days down there. There's a few week-to-weeks down there, but we haven't had the catastrophic season-ending injury to any guy. So, of course, I say that, and that'll be the kiss of death. But for the here and now, a lot of nagging injuries, a lot of guys in walking boots, but again, day-to-day / week-to-week, nothing real long-term. But those things are adding up, and they're worth taking note of. Dallas Wilson, is out of practice. You mentioned L.J. McCray. I know Pup Howard is working his way back in. Aiden Mizell as well. So these things are adding up a little bit when it comes to the Florida Gators. Quickly, before we get to the 9 o'clock hour, I mentioned Friday Night Lights. We will kick off season 19 of the Friday Night Lights postgame 1 week from this Friday. Next Friday, the 22nd, will be our 19th season under the Friday Night Lights here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. I will do the postgame show with Dylan Denmark as my co-host this year. Denmark, looking forward to working with you on the radio side. And we have a new adventure that we are doing here on 1010XL with our partners at Channel 4. Had a meeting about it today. Will be more details coming out this week. But it's a partnership between Channel 4 and 1010XL. My buddies Justin Barney and Jamal St. Cyr over there on the TV side. Us here on the radio side. We're going to get together on our YouTube platforms, Twitter, Facebook, on the multimedia side. And we're going to do basically an end-game show on Friday evenings, beginning around 7 o'clock, going up to about 9 o'clock. And then I will get ready for the post-game show after that. But a ton of high school football coverage is coming, what you've always expected with the Friday Night Lights post-game here on 1010XL. But a very exciting partnership between us and Channel 4 that we will tell you more about as the week goes on, that will kick off next Friday night, which will involve the Friday Night Lights post-game, my buddies Justin Barney, Jamal St. Cyr from Channel 4. So I'm certainly looking forward to sharing more details about that with you coming up later on this week here on Hacker After Dark. We are at halftime, 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. As always, Jacksonville, we'll take you up till 10 o'clock right here on Hacker After Dark. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, Daniel Griffith, the analytics, the number crunching, the decimal points. He does a really, really good job in that area. Does so for Action Jacks, Action Sports, and we'll talk with Daniel about everything going on with the Jaguar training camp, with the preseason opener on Saturday. How did the numbers look? How did the decimal points look? The analytical side of that preseason opener. We'll do that with Daniel Griffith coming up in less than 20 minutes. And like I said, Graham Hall of Swamp 247 joins me towards the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. We're glad you're with us on a Monday. It's Hacker After Dark, rolling on till 10 o'clock right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
Let's get this crowd going. Now, come on, get him up, get him up, get him up. Come on, come on, come on.
Crowd on its feet.
This is what we live for right here.
1010XL.
This is what you live for. Let's go.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. In summertime, it really can stretch out most of the year because we love the warm temperatures here in the Sunshine State. Greg, give them an idea of what Honda has to offer.
They are all over the board. They've got Honda scooters, Honda motorcycles, we've got Honda boats, we've got Honda side-by-sides. Whatever you like, we've got it.
That means adventure is waiting.
That's right, and we're ready for you.
In the showroom, you can find all that Honda has to offer on Atlantic near Regency, or check out Cycles of Jacksonville's Facebook page.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
After 3 years, the Hacker Fantasy League is back here in 2025. Thursday night, August the 21st at Twin Peaks on Atlantic and Kernan, the HFL is back. Be listening to Hacker After Dark for your chance to enter.
As a law enforcement officer, safe roads are one of my top priorities, ensuring everyone can get home safely each day. Some never will, due to aggressive driving, being distracted, or speeding on the roads. And too often, that results in the toughest part of my job and the longest walk in my life. I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
9 people will be killed on our Florida roadways today. Don't let it be you or a person you love. Buckle up every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, Hicken here. Tired of glasses or contacts? Discover customized vision solutions at Bowden Eye & Associates. Dr. Bowden's team offers cutting-edge options like EVO implantable Collamer lenses or refractive lens exchange and classic LASIK, designed to fit your life. Picture perfect vision for reading, driving, or just enjoying the day. It's easier than you think. Call now for your free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, they're keeping the First Coast focused.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
Hi, I'm John Haney from Clearwater Gutters and Drainage. After heavy rains, the problems are obvious. Mulch blown out of your beds, water standing around your foundation, and that fancy new crater back behind your bushes. Let Clearwater Seamless Gutters help you solve the problem spots.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters.
And drainage, too.
Find out more at clearwaterjacks.com.
At Hurricane Grill and Wings, the wings are fresh, the drinks are cold, and the game is always on. With 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, and handcrafted cocktails, there's no better place to kick back and catch every play. Escape the ordinary. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings.
Looking for summer fun the whole family can enjoy? Check out Wick, a candle bar. Make your own custom candles and body care products in store at Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Preseason game 1 in the rearview mirror. The Jaguars will travel to New Orleans on Sunday for preseason week number 2. Of course, you'll hear that game right here on 1010XL. Let's look back to Saturday night. Let's look ahead to this weekend, and let's talk a little Jaguar training camp as well. Daniel Griffith is a numbers guy, man. He crunches the numbers, analytics, the decimal points. I love it. You love it. He's with Action Sports, and Daniel is always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. Daniel, how you doing?
Oh, very well. Happy that football's back. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, buddy, we always appreciate the time. All right, I know people were following you on Saturday night and since the game because you give a lot of the numbers, the data, things of those sorts. From a mile-high view, before we single in on individual players, your overall thoughts, perspective on what you saw Saturday night in the preseason opener.
I thought the offense did okay. We'll get into run blocking is still a recurring issue, but the defense kind of let me down. The Steelers quarterbacks completed 29 of 38 passes, and that's with 3 drops. So without the drops, that would have been 84.2% completion percentage, which isn't very good. And the starting defense didn't fare much better either. So that's an area that I think that you have to look for the Jaguars to improve going into to New Orleans and going into the regular season. That was a concern last year, and it is not something that makes you feel any better this week after getting torched by Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson. So that's certainly something to look at. But I thought overall the offense, I feel as though if the starting offense got some more playing time, they would have found their groove and done really, really well.
Yeah, I had very little issue with anything else other than the pass defense. I actually thought the run defense was not terrible. I think Pittsburgh only averaged like 2.6 yards per carry, but I agree the pass defense was bad, and that's putting it mildly. Quickly to the Jaguar offense. Obviously a field goal on the opening drive. There were some nice things there. The penalties kind of offset what they potentially could have done. But I thought Bashal Tootin was a major factor. I thought everything we've seen in practice, Daniel, kind of came to fruition on the field. What was your thought of Tootin on Saturday night?
Yeah, the speed is so noticeable. All 24, according to PFF, all 24 of his yards came after contact. So that's a testament to Tootin and maybe a damnation of the offensive line. As an issue last year, the Jaguars averaged 0.59 yards before contact per attempt against the Steelers. So that's, again, a struggle for them. Got to fix that. And Liam Cohen's hopefully the guy. I'm looking at what he did with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in just 1 year. But that was something, as well as I thought that Bigsby as well looked good in his small amount of carries.
Daniel Griffith crunches the numbers. He's the analytics, data points, you name it. He does it for Action Sports, and Daniel's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. I want to give a little love to the 7th-round pick, Jonah Monheim. Daniel, I've seen a lot of analytic websites, PFF, one of them, kind of raving about Monheim's performance on Saturday night. What did you see?
Yeah, he had the most snaps of any center through the first week of preseason. He didn't allow any pressures. That's not, obviously center is the position that probably gives up the least amount of pressures across the three offensive line positions. But, it's certainly something to build on going forward. And I think that it's a good starting point for him. Obviously, run blocking is still an issue across the offensive line as a whole. But that's more of a unity thing rather than an individual player standpoint. But I was excited for Monheim, as well as I thought Milam played pretty well as well. He got some time at both tackle and guard.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Milam also played very well. Agree with you there. And you could tell the frustration Liam Cohen had with the penalties. They just kind of stop you in your tracks. I mean, you're on the move, that opening drive. Well, heck, it doesn't even get started before a penalty on literally the first play of the game. And then you're on the move. They call, offensive pass interference, which I'm not even sure it was. That was kind of an interesting call. But nevertheless, there were penalties all throughout the game. That's something clearly the Jaguars have to clean up very, very quickly.
Yeah, interestingly enough, the Jaguars are one of the least penalized teams under Doug Peterson, and most of the players are returning. So I'm curious to see if that becomes an issue. I don't imagine it will. Hopefully, that's just a one-game thing, and the Jaguars can get back and roll. Certainly, you can't hurt yourself, especially with penalties, with how difficult the Jaguars have had have scoring and going on starting drives. But I will say it's nice that the Jaguars opened up with a starting drive. It wasn't a touchdown, but the Jaguars only have 14 opening drive touchdowns in their last 6 seasons, 100 games. So it was nice to see, certainly nice to see the Jaguars get out early and put some points on the board, something that they've struggled with for the last half decade.
It was funny. I was talking to some people at practice today, and the 4th and 1 De'Ami Brown end around was awesome because it worked, but we were joking around. Can you imagine if Doug Peterson had called an end around last year? What the thoughts would have been, from the Jaguar fan base. It's just obviously Liam Cohen's going to have a lot more leeway because he's the new guy. But if Peterson calls an end around on 4th and 1 last year, people would have been totally up in arms with him and Press Taylor. Just certainly a differing of opinion with the new guys, Liam Cohen and Grant Udinski. Daniel, to the defensive side of the ball, is there any guys that you wanted to single out that you thought had very good performances on Saturday?
Two guys that have kind of gone under the radar up until Saturday. Yasir Abdullah, who is actually listed as I'll put it in quotations, starter on the Jaguars' initial depth chart at linebacker. He almost had that really nice interception grab. He also had 3 stops. defensive stops, and the other one, Antonio Johnson, who's, the safety position is probably the one that's got the biggest question marks. You imagine Eric Murray starts, but across from him, it's really, I think, an open battle, whether it's Savage or Antonio Johnson or Dewey Wingard. And I thought that Antonio Johnson made the biggest name for himself among the safety guys on Saturday. And, he was a guy that his rookie season was really promising and then kind of had a down year last year. But if they can get him back in the role, maybe even if he doesn't start, maybe that big nickel position that the Jaguars can use to slide in against some tight ends or some different matchups that they like on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Antonio Johnson played well. That's what you call the Hacker After Dark karma, because we had him on Thursday leading into the game on Saturday, and I thought he played a very good game. He was in there late, which was interesting. A guy like Antonio Johnson, I mean, he was playing into the fourth quarter, which I'm not sure if I'm going to read anything into that or not. That'll be something to monitor as we move on here. I also thought you talk about under the radar, I'm just going to give numbers out again because, until you make the team as an undrafted free agent, 92 and 95 on the defensive line, I thought both showed some promise. Now, will they ultimately make the team? Are they practice squad guys? Who really knows? But there were some effort plays late in the fourth quarter when, quite frankly, a lot of people had already left the stadium that I think if you have not seen, you should go watch, because I really liked what I saw at 92 and 95 on the Jaguar D-line.
I haven't gone back after the game to specifically look at their play, but there's Strigo had I think he led the team in pressures, so that's really nice to see, especially late in the game. The Jaguars starters really couldn't do anything against the Steelers offensive line early in the game.
Yeah, I think he had the forced fumble that the Jaguars should have recovered but didn't.
Correct. So there's some hope there. The Jaguars' interior defensive line is just kind of in a bad spot right now with injuries, as well as they just didn't add anyone really in free agency. So I'm curious to see if those decisions end up coming to bite the Jaguars in the butt. But yeah, so some of the undrafted guys. Another one I'll mention, Jabbar Muhammad, I thought played pretty well at corner on the defensive side of the ball, and another undrafted guy, a little smaller, but he was the guy that made a lot of plays for Washington in that national championship run.
Final moments, Daniel Griffith, Action Sports. Daniel, I can't let you get out of here without asking about Travis Hunter. What were your thoughts?
Oh, it's fun. I think this week we'll get to see a lot more of him. It's kind of difficult to. I'll say this: he did not play a lot of slot his final year at Colorado. It was like 5% of his snaps. He was one of the players, receivers in the country that played the least amount of snaps from the slot, and the majority of his snaps in week one were from the slot. So that was really interesting to see. Moving him in the slot, Trevor Lawrence targets the slot as much as any quarterback in the NFL. Similarly with tight end. So if the Jaguars want to open some stuff up, whether it's for BTJ or Travis Hunter in the slot, I think that both of those guys create massive mismatches and get the ball into their hands, and they can go make some plays.
Final question. Again, this is, kind of the nuts and bolts on the offensive line, but it's something you do with the numbers and studying these games. Daniel, if they're going to put the 5 best offensive linemen out there, they're rotating a lot of guys with a lot of versatility. I got to tell you, man, Chuma Edoga, the free agent from Dallas, has probably been one of the 5 best offensive linemen to this point. What did you see from him on Saturday?
Yeah, I thought that he played really well, and the Jaguars seemed to really like him at that right guard spot. Today they announced that because Anton Harrison wasn't there, you saw Patrick McCarry play a little right tackle, and I thought that Chuma Edoga played really well, and it was the offensive line. Pass blocking wise has been pretty decent. He was one of the stronger run blockers, I thought, of the early guys. So that was really, really nice to see. PFF actually had him as the Jaguars' number 1 highest graded player, offense or defense.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I thought he looked really good, and I thought he's looked good really since he got here, primarily the last couple weeks in training camp. Daniel, tell the Jaguar fans listening tonight where they can find your work and what they can expect in the coming days as the Jaguars get ready to travel to New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get some more, get a bigger sample size because I usually push the pressures and pressures allowed after games, and it was kind of hard to do when you only play 6, 7, 8 snaps. I feel it doesn't do them justice, whether they do good or bad. So hopefully with this coming week we can really take a look as to who's playing well, at least from an analytical standpoint. But yeah, I'm writing every day at Action Sports Jacks. I try to post as much Jaguars content as I can, and I'm really, really excited to have some new players to watch and to see what Liam Cohen can do with this Jaguars roster. But yeah, I post every day on Twitter and at Action Sports Jacks at Dandy Griffith.
Daniel Griffiths. Daniel, I'm a fan. Appreciate the work you do. Thank you as always for joining me, and we'll talk again soon, pal.
Thank you.
1010XL is committed to getting you closer to your favorite players. That's why we send Jags beat reporter Hayes Carlyon to bring you back one-on-one interviews in the locker room, unsealed by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, got a minute?
Always. What's on your mind?
This time of year, my air conditioner is running non-stop. Hot all day, hot all night. It has to run constantly just to keep up.
Well, that's what they do.
But if something happens to it in the middle of a 2-week heat wave, I'm in trouble, Jason. I can't wait 3 days or 2 days or even the next day for service. If you can't get someone here today, I'm sweating by tonight. What if it breaks, Jason?
You call me, pal. That's what we do. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
But you're probably swamped with calls from everyone else's AC that ran nonstop and then broke in a heat wave, so they called you because that's what you do.
But we always have room for an emergency. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we have techs standing by because we know these things happen.
So I don't need to worry. Wow. That time you calmed me down without even using the sunglasses.
Oh, I was reaching for them.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Juice box. I'm a mom.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check. Oh, hot sauce. Take it.
Really? I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins, a balloon. Wait one sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 per month on Experience Beyond. Finance agreement $829.99 and qualifying ported. For well-qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay out via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
If you're playing fantasy football, you might want a little help. Get 1010XL's Fantasy Football Draft Guide with in-depth player bios and the top 32 rankings at every position. Get the guide at 1010XL.com and on all of the 1010XL social channels.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Football season is back, baby. Hicken here, and I know I'm excited to get back to watching some ball over the weekend. But with the fun comes responsibility. Taking care of your skin while outside, extremely important. We know it feels like 100 out there, and that sun is blazing. Make sure you bring the screen while loading up all that tailgate. It's simple. Protect your skin. It's the Sunshine State. To help you protect your skin, Beaches Dermatology is here. I've been going to them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Book your appointment today at beachesdermatology.com.
I know you love sports, so why not take that passion and make a difference in your community as a volunteer coach with the YMCA? Whether it's soccer, basketball, volleyball, or flag football, The Y is always looking for positive role models to help kids grow in both skills and character. Even if you've got no coaching experience, that's fine. We'll provide the training. Step up, give back, and be the coach that makes a difference. To volunteer, visit your local Y or fcymca.org.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Thank you to Daniel Griffith for joining me tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Always enjoyed talking the numbers with Daniel. Admittedly, I was not an analytics guy a couple of years ago, but I've found as I've gotten older, I appreciate the numbers, the decimal points, the percentages. I find them interesting, good talking points as well, and Daniel does a terrific job with that, and appreciate him joining us here tonight on Hacker After Dark. Down at the Miller Electric Center earlier today was a non-padded practice. A lot of it was kind of a walkthrough, if you will. You know, it was interesting. In Denmark, let's get the first cut from Liam Cohen today. Liam Cohen spoke to the media, all these cuts courtesy of our friends at Jaguars.com. You know, it was interesting because you're coming off a game, right? A game where there was a lot of penalties committed, and Cohen was obviously frustrated by this. You could tell in his post-game press conference on Saturday. So the Jaguars come out today. I really didn't know what to expect. I'm down there, and they go into their team period drill, and we're all watching, and they don't really snap the ball. They're not really running plays. They're doing more like getting lined up in formation. And it was interesting, and William Cohen was asked about that part of practice after practice earlier today.
Alignment, assignment, getting our cleats in the ground when we have a call. On both sides of the ball, fundamentals. We did a 40-play alignment assignment period of just getting the call, getting our cleats in the ground, making loud guttural communication, getting the calls in quickly. That was what we were really kind of focusing on from an emphasis standpoint. Obviously, some of these guys are going to be a little bit sore that played a lot of snaps in the game, so we were trying to really hone in on the mind, got conditioning out of it kind of as well. So that was kind of the thought of today.
Yeah, I get the soreness from only a couple of days removed from the game, but that to me, Denmark seems like a guy that is not happy about all the penalties. He had talked about the penalties leading into Saturday's game, and then you had all the penalties during Saturday's game, and now you all of a sudden have the alignment assignment period at today's practice. Liam Cohen seems like a guy that's pretty frustrated by that right now.
Yeah, it's one thing if, a receiver drops the ball or you miss a block. If you are having pre-snap penalties, I was driving home. I did the pregame here and left at 7, and the first play of the game didn't get off before Anton Harrison had a false start. I just laughed. I'm like, this is how we're really starting the season. Because it wasn't, Tuesday or last Wednesday? It was one of the practices early last week where the offensive side of the ball had 5 penalties. And it seemed like you always hear the phrase, you practice like you play. And the offense had a lot of penalties. And it just drives the coach nuts because it's like you have a plan for 1st and 10. And then, you go, hopefully you get positive yards and you go second down. Before you even look up, you're already behind the sticks. So now it changes how you call plays and how you want to do your drive. And it was clear that they want to do their starters and get in and get out. And but with them having 3 penalties on that first drive, it was still a good drive, all things considered.
Yeah, they recovered from that 1st and 15. They got a first down. I believe that was the 4th and 1, the end around to De'Ami Brown, which was a great play call. I love that play call. So, yeah, if they wouldn't have got all those penalties, they might have punched it in for a touchdown, and the narrative would be vastly different. Finally, from Liam Cohen earlier today, he was asked about Travis Hunter. Travis played on both offense and defense. The thing about Travis Hunter, as I said earlier, if he doesn't slip on his second catch, he beats the corner to the outside, probably gains 15 yards. And then he has 2 catches for 20 yards as opposed to 2 catches for 9 yards. Just kind of looks better. I also thought in coverage, it was a limited sample size. I thought in coverage, he was very good. He had the one missed tackle on a toss sweep. Okay, I don't really care about that. If you want to critique him for that, that's fine. You didn't draft Travis Hunter to stop a running game. You drafted Travis Hunter to put points on the board offensively and to shut down opposing wide receivers. I'll deal with a couple of missed tackles on toss sweeps if he does everything else well. I thought he did everything else well, but it doesn't matter necessarily what I think. It matters what Liam Cohen thought. What did Liam Cohen think of Travis Hunter on Saturday?
Yeah, I think a couple of his just route technique we got to work on, continue to work on it. But I thought he made the right decisions. His alignment assignment was all proper and clean. Defensively, just got to clean up a few things from an alignment standpoint and just, staying in the run, in the fit a little bit tighter on that one run that got out. But, that's practice and repetition.
All right, so James Gladstone has the intangibly rich ecosystem. Liam Cohen's got the alignment assignment. All right, that's it. That's where we're at right now. You talk about intangibly rich, you talk about Gladstone. You talk about alignment assignment, it's all about Liam Cohen. Hey, everybody needs a trademark, right? Everybody needs a calling card. Everybody needs that little thing. Kind of like the name of your persona on your hat, like I've had for the last 20 years. It's kind of like your angle, if you will. James Gladstone angle, intangibly rich ecosystem. Liam Cohen is all about the alignment and the assignment. And we'll see how much more they do of that. Again, back at practice tomorrow. Padded practice, from what I understand. I'm scheduled to go one-on-one with Jaguar defensive lineman Tyler Lacey, who all of a sudden has a pretty big role with the injuries right now to Eric Armstead and Mason Smith. I'll talk with Tyler Lacey after practice tomorrow, and we'll bring you that conversation tomorrow evening right here on Hacker After Dark. More on the Jaguars, a little bit on the college ranks as well. Again, Graham Hall, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247, joins me in less than 15 minutes right here on Hacker After Dark.
Summer's winding down, and we know you want to enjoy what's left of it. But before you celebrate this Labor Day weekend, plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com/Duval. That's WM.com/Duval and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's The Mangler.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
Shuffle up and deal for a cause. Let's go all in to help others out. Join the Hold'em for Life poker tournament coming up September 20th at Blessed Trinity Parish Hall. Every hand helps the Women's Help Center support expectant mothers and newborns.
Find out how you can be part of the cure for blood cancer at the Light the Night Walk at ViStar Ballpark November 22nd. Take the first step at lightthenight.org.
Dreams Come True is a local wish-granting organization giving dreams and special times to local children battling life-threatening illnesses. Find out how you can help at dreamscometrue.org.
City Rescue Mission has been providing food, clothing, and love for over 70 years to the homeless in Jacksonville. If someone you know is struggling, learn more about the City Rescue Mission at crmjax.org.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com.
Hello, all you Jacksonville sports fans. Don here from Taco Lou. If you're in the mood for some great tacos, cold Dos Equis, maybe even a sip of some fine tequila, then the Lou is calling your name. Come out to Jack's Beach and experience what many have dubbed the #1 taco in the 904. There are plenty of great taco joints in town, and we're proud to have been around for this long, and we have only you, the fine people of Jacksonville, to thank for helping us grow and become who we are today. Cheers to you, Jacksonville, and thank you from the Lou crew. Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
Did you know that for every inch of rain on a 2,000 square foot roof, 1,500 gallons come off the eave of the roof? Call Clearwater Seamless Gutters and Drainage, and we'll design a plan using our Clearwater Seamless Gutters, and we'll connect those gutters to a Clearwater drainage system to solve your erosion and standing water issues.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters. And drainage, too.
SeamlessGuttersJacksonville.com. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
We will go to Tallahassee tomorrow, check in on Florida State. We'll likely make stops at both Miami and Georgia later in the week as well. Every team is over 2 weeks into camp. Every team is 2.5 weeks away from their regular season debut. We'll begin tonight in Gainesville. Graham Hall, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247 joins me in less than 10 minutes. Quickly on Florida, a couple of things that happened either this evening or today that Gator fans you may not have seen. Tonight, Davion Gross, a 4-star wide receiver from the state of Texas, won the Texas State Championship in the 200-meter dash, commits to the Gators out of Frisco. He chose Florida over Baylor, Houston, and Oklahoma. So one of the top receivers in America, one of the fastest receivers in America, commits to Billy Napier and the Florida Gators tonight. And earlier today, the Associated Press poll came out for the 2025 college football season. Florida will begin at number 15. Boy, that is a far, far cry from where they have been the last couple of years. 15 for Florida. I saw Miami is going to begin at number 10. Florida State is not ranked in the AP. Quickly, Denmark, Florida at 15. Does that seem right to you, or were you surprised they were that high?
No, I mean, there were 17 in the coaches poll, and you're going to be at the same when the AP comes out. I guess I would expect it to have been 17, 18, or 19 instead of 15, 16, 17. But, yeah, I mean, they're all going to be right there. All the teams with big names are always usually going to be pretty tight. Florida hasn't been that high, and it seems like it's been a long time.
Well, and say what you will about Billy Napier, and goodness knows I've said a lot, and I know Gator fans have as well. But that guy was left for dead by Gator Nation last year. After that Texas A&M game, he was toast. He was Cinnamon Toast Crunch, man. He was gone.
I'd say even more after the Tennessee game.
Yeah, but Tennessee, too. Apparently, My Voice, I was told, was on the Netflix documentary.
Yes, I watched and listened.
Yeah, I made Netflix. Mom, be proud. Yes, my 5 seconds of fame on Netflix, me ripping Billy Napier on that Gator SEC documentary. Yeah, I was not happy about that. And I agree, after Tennessee was bad. And now here we are in August of 2025, and they are a top 15 team in the country, according to the AP poll. Say what you will about Billy Napier. That's a hell of a job. That's a hell of a turnaround. To not quit, to not give up, to have his players continue to buy in. That says something about Billy Napier. We'll see what we're saying about Billy Napier in a couple of months. Let's talk about it with Graham Hall, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247. Let's talk Napier. Let's talk Lagway. Let's talk injuries and all points in between. A little Gator football talk next, right here on Hacker After Dark.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie, and I got to tell you, I can't fix anything. I would be so lost with plumbing problems if not for Duck Duck Rooter. But everybody knows to call the Duck. Well, I do too. Whether it's plumbing, air conditioning, septic, they handle all of it, and nobody does a better job than our friends at Duck Duck Rooter. Any of those needs you have, call them today, 904-862-6769, or go to duckduckrooter.com. If you've got problems, call Duck Duck Rooter. They'll handle it. I guarantee it.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 11th, 1991, American hero John Daly wins his first major championship after winning the PGA Championship at Crooked Stick.
Denny Thompson here. Look, don't get left in the dark. We're all trying to reason with hurricane season, so at least be prepared. For top-of-the-line generators in Jacksonville, I turn to Tyson. Licensed pros at Tyson deliver reliable, whole-home standby generators and provide fast repair service. They even do custom installations for local businesses, so don't wait. Ensure seamless installation and peace of mind. Call Tyson now, 904-762-1000 for a free estimate on generator services. TysonInc.com.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast. But Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a slip and slide gone wrong? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Cleaning Freaks at Zero Res. Great time of the year to get your house Zero Resified. And right now, you can get your entire home clean from Jacksonville's Ultimate Carpet Cleaner. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $135. Plus, they're throwing in a free hallway and take $100 off the air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Football season is back, baby. Hicken here, and I know I'm excited to get back to watching some ball over the weekend. But with the fun comes responsibility. Taking care of your skin while outside, extremely important. We know it feels like 100 out there, and that sun is blazing. Make sure you bring the screen while loading up all that tailgate. It's simple. Protect your skin. It's the Sunshine State. To help you protect your skin, Beaches Dermatology is here. I've been going to them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Book your appointment today at beachesdermatology.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us as we reach the middle point of August. We are inside of 3 weeks now until the Florida Gators home opener against Long Island on Saturday, August the 30th. The Gators have been in camp for just about 2 weeks. Let's talk about how camp is going. Let's talk about DJ Lagway, some surprises, some injury concerns, and all points in between. And let's do that with Graham Hall, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247. Graham does a terrific job covering the Florida Gators, and he's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Graham, how you doing?
I can't complain, man. Thanks for having me. It's always an exciting time in Gainesville where we're counting the days, like I know a lot of fans are, for the season to get here. Talking season can be over, and we can see the games get played.
Yeah, it's crazy. We were counting down the days to camp, and now all of a sudden we're almost 2 weeks in. We're almost 2.5 weeks away from the first game of the year. Graham, obviously DJ Lagway's been a story. We'll get to that. Dallas Wilson's injury. There's a lot of storylines, but a mile-high view, what have been your thoughts about the first 2 weeks of camp as a whole?
Well, I think this is a team that has a lot of promise, and injuries are certainly a part of that. And it's, like you mentioned, not just DJ Lagway. It's making sure that he has all the weapons at his disposal. And fortunately for Florida, before I touch on the injury concerns, everything we've heard is that nothing of the ones I'm about to mention are long-term concerns. Now, certainly those are reps that these guys are going to miss out on in practice that, you don't want those guys to miss, especially Eugene Wilson III, a guy who's working his way back after being limited to just 4 games last season. And then Dallas Wilson, who you mentioned, who has been in a cast for the past couple of days. I was told it was precautionary to make sure that he wasn't taking the boot off and continue to work out on his own, because it's a guy that understands he has a huge chance to be an impactful player for Florida in year one after he had that promising spring game, has worked with Florida's first team offense at the start of fall camp. And you just want to make sure that he doesn't hinder that injury any further. It's been described as week to week by Billy Napier, which means maybe could miss a couple games or maybe could be back by the time the season gets here. Now, like you said, 2.5 weeks away. So that's the good news, certainly. But the Gators have had a few guys pile up. It's not just the 2 I mentioned. Aiden Mizell has been dealing with a minor injury. Khalil Jackson continues to work his way back. You got to make sure, if you're Florida, that those guys are healthy and they don't aggravate things further. So taking a cautious approach is very wise for Florida in that regard, in my mind. And otherwise, there are certainly some injury concerns. LJ McCray, Grayson Howard, a Jacksonville guy, still working his way back. Did a little bit more on Monday's practice, but sat out of the scrimmage on Saturday. Again, another guy that, as important as he is to Florida, kind of like the quarterback of Florida's defense, last year, the implementation of the in-helmet communication, he's the guy as the Mike linebacker who has that earpiece in his helmet relaying the calls. You got to make sure that he's healthy, doesn't have a setback, but he has been off the field for much of the year, missed the majority of the spring, missed the initial part of fall camp here. So certainly one worth monitoring as well. And then some other spots where Florida is looking to develop depth from the secondary, getting some of those young guys ready, because we have seen Dijon Johnson limited. Aaron Gates has been a modified participant. He's done a lot in practice, but also, again, another guy who sat out of Saturday scrimmage because they have to be cautious with him. They know what they have in him, and they can't have him aggravate things any further as he ramps back up. Then some other key battles that we've been following: interior of the defensive line, getting Jamari Lyons back. I think that's a bigger thing than a lot of people realize, because he was a guy who was trending in the right direction this time last year, suffers a fractured ankle in Florida's first scrimmage in 2024, misses the whole year. And given how much those guys have to rely on their ankle flexion, that's an injury that you can't take any chances with. So he looks like he is going to be on track to be the starter there, but a guy who also is pretty relatively inexperienced. You have to make sure the key guys behind him are healthy. Like I said, fortunately for Florida, much of the conversation has been on getting that depth ready, getting guys back, and it doesn't seem like right now Florida is going to be without any major contributors throughout a significant portion of the 2025 season.
A couple more for Graham Hall of Swamp 247. That's, of course, a part of the 24/7 Sports Network. All right, Graham, let's go rapid fire. Level of concern when it comes to the injury status of quarterback DJ Lagway.
I maybe a 1 or a 2. I think the biggest issue with him is this is a guy that is missing out on valuable reps. You know, there are things to improve upon if you're DJ Lagway, and so many people have out there, they talk about his potential, and rightfully so, but this is still a second-year quarterback who can continue to make strides when it comes to reading defenses, going through his progressions, getting down the timing with his wide receivers, building the rapport. Those things are valuable, absolutely, for a quarterback, and it's hard to replicate that as involved as DJ is in the film room. That's probably my biggest concern for him is, will this have hindered his development enough where you're still going to see a guy who maybe is good for 1 or 2 interceptions a game, still is making an errant throw, as explosive as he is, as dangerous of a weapon as he is, this is still someone who can benefit from reps. So from that standpoint, I do think that there's maybe some mild concern. But when it comes to his health, you know, Billy Napier's not going to come out here and say that. But if Florida were to play on Saturday, DJ Lagway would be out there. Even if it's Long Island, even if it's Miami of last year, this is your starting quarterback, and he would be out there, even if it's a situation like the tail end of the 2024 season where he's being protected when it comes to his mobility, when they're taking a cautious approach with him with the play calling, asking that he remains in the pocket, doesn't run out there where he could further aggravate something. And then you're talking about someone potentially missing multiple games, which as Florida gets into the meat of their schedule, you got to make sure that Lagway is available. So right now, not much concern for me when it comes to him being out there. I just wonder, and maybe this is even a post-2025 season reflection from Florida, from DJ, on how much missing the last 7-8 months of considerable practice time has maybe held him back from reaching his true ceiling as a second-year quarterback. That is probably the biggest question mark that I have. But I also don't know if we're going to have an answer here before the 2025 season arrives. Regardless, DJ Lagway is going to be out there when the season opens. And no disrespect to Long Island University, that can be his scrimmage. I know I just talked about him not participating in 11-on-11 in Florida scrimmage. It's unclear whether he'll do it in this upcoming second scrimmage that they're going to have. They shouldn't need him for more than, 10 plays against Long Island? No offense to the Sharks whatsoever, but you have that first game where there's not as much urgency to get him back out there, because I don't think he's going to be that impactful to Florida securing a dub in week 1 of the season.
Well, also at the quarterback position, we're hearing good things about Tramel Jones from Mandarin, who's, of course, with his true freshman year over there at the University of Florida. But clearly it's DJ Lagway's job, and this team will go as far as DJ Lagway can take them. Graham, from a big picture point of view, maybe the most pleasant surprise 2 weeks into camp?
That's a good question. I think you could make a case for several guys, especially defensively. Jaden Woods is a name that we keep hearing repeatedly, and I kind of was tempering expectations for a while because it's so difficult to play as a freshman on the defensive front. And you look at that edge room that the Gators have coming back. Tyreek Sapp, their leading sack leader from a year ago, George Gums Jr., felt pretty entrenched as that jack linebacker for Florida, did a great job rushing the passer as well, and he's gotten more athletic to allow him to drop into coverage. You look at some of the other guys, Cameron James, LJ McCray. It feels like from a depth standpoint, it was going to be difficult for a first-year player to see the field. But everything we've heard about Jaden Woods for the past 6 months just leads me to believe that they're going to use a freshman consistently in the rotation. He may not be a starter from the jump, but I do feel like he's going to take a larger workload as the season progresses. He shattered George Gums's clean squat record right when he got here in spring. He's a strong guy. He's got a really, really good technique. He's just been living in the film room, blowing up teammates at night, asking how he can get better. He probably is going to be one of the bigger surprises to me when we get into the season. I also think Florida's young linebackers are being slept on a little bit. Miles Graham and Aaron Childs. I think there's going to be some situations where Florida's going to have to find some way to get 3 linebackers involved throughout the game, because you have Aaron Childs who can play this stack backer type role. He can also rush the passer. You give him a chance to be in there and mix some things up. I think Florida's defense could be a lot more unpredictable in a sense for opposing teams to game plan for, but it also speaks to the promise that they have. And then there's some other key position battles as well that I think are important. Developing the second string offensive line because of how physical of a position that is. I know we've talked so much about the returning production, having 3,000 snaps coming back from last year's team, but a lot of those guys, 3 of those guys are not going to be on this roster after next year. You have to start getting in-game experience for those newcomers, those up-and-coming guys, as soon as you possibly can, whenever you have an opportunity to do that, regardless of if it's Long Island or Florida gets a lead against some of these SEC teams down the stretch. You have to give the up-and-coming guys production. And I still think there's some work to be done at the tackle spot. Caden Jones and Fletcher Westphal have made strides, but still some work to do. Kind of like what I said with DJ Lagway. It's impossible to replicate in-game production and experience. You got to get in the game and actually do it. I think the interior of the offensive line right now is a better situation for Florida from a depth perspective with Roger Kearney, Jason Zandamela, who was the #1 transfer from an interior lineman in the portal at 18 months ago when he went over to USC and then came back to Florida. This is a situation where I think that Florida's going to be looking for a little bit more evenness, so to speak, when it comes to the second string of the offensive line, and that's something they're going to have to keep on developing right now in the weeks ahead and when they get into the season. But I think that the biggest thing here is that no news in a sense is good news, because for Florida, not losing someone who's a projected starter, not having any significant injuries hasn't really forced Florida's hand. And that would be the biggest surprise that you wouldn't want to hear about if someone went down and they had to rely on someone that we haven't talked about, haven't heard about a ton. And right now, knock on wood for Florida, that is not the case right now. Where so far throughout the first half of fall camp, they are pretty healthy, much healthier than they have been in years past since I've been covering this Billy Napier team.
And it does appear it is the deepest Billy Napier team, clearly, of the previous years that he's been with the University of Florida. Graham Hall, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247. Graham, it is a very busy time of year. Tell the Gator fans over here in Jacksonville what you guys have on the website as camp continues.
A ton of content, absolutely. We have practice availability on Tuesday and Thursday. We have a bunch of information up on Saturday scrimmage you can go and read. We just dropped a new podcast. And if you're not a member of our wonderful community, for the next 15 days, we're running a 50% off promo. Take advantage of that. I got to give a little bit of a shameless plug here. You join Swamp 247, the 247 Sports Network, after the promo deal runs out, or if you pay full price, you get Paramount Plus for free included with your subscription. You're not going to beat that deal anywhere, especially plugging it today with the exciting announcement that UFC for the next 7 years is going to be on Paramount Plus. Great time to take advantage of that. Join our community. Follow us on Twitter, X, wherever you get your information from. And it's always a good time talking to you, Ryan. We got to do it really again soon here. There's going to be a lot to talk about for sure.
Yeah, Graham, appreciate the time. Know you're busy. Let's reconnect the week of the game against Long Island. Thank you as always, pal. We'll do it again soon.
My pleasure. Y'all take care of there. Stay safe, stay healthy. Talk to you soon.
And thank you to my buddy Graham Hall, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark, as we are, 19 days away from the Gator regular season opener against Long Island. Obviously, all eyes are on DJ Lagway and a lot of expectations for Florida. Absolutely no question about that. And the college football season is sneaking up on us. We've been so locked in to the Jaguars and to training camp. Week 0 in college football is 12 days away. And, of course, the opening Labor Day weekend will be absolutely spectacular, including Florida State, Alabama. You got, Clemson, LSU, Ohio State, Texas, Miami, Notre Dame, and those games are now less than 3 weeks away. So we spent a lot of time on that, but as you can imagine, it was primarily Jaguar-related. Preseason game number 1 in the rearview mirror. The Jaguars were back on the field today at the Miller Electric Center. Had the opportunity to catch up with Jaguar tight end Hunter Long. Appreciate that conversation, as the Jaguars will get ready for preseason game number 2 coming up this Sunday in the Superdome against the New Orleans Saints. Well, that will just about do it, man. Very busy Monday night here on Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. we have a ton of people to thank. Again, Graham Hall, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247. Thank you to Daniel Griffith of Action Sports. Daniel's the analytics guy, man. He's the decimal point, crunches the numbers for us. We always appreciate getting his Jaguar perspective from an analytics point of view. Also, the coach, Gerald Ingram, joined me as well. Coach will be with Leon Searcy and myself for the 5th quarter this year. 28 years of coaching experience, including 18 in the National Football League. He's also got a couple Super Bowl rings on his fingers from his time as the running backs coach with the New York Giants, and really enjoyed the conversation with Coach breaking down Saturday night's game against Pittsburgh. And as I mentioned, Jaguar tight end Hunter Long. Thank you, as always, to the Jaguar PR staff for hooking us up with these one-on-one interviews on Hacker After Dark. I'll be right back down at the Miller Electric Center in the morning. I'm scheduled to go one-on-one tomorrow after practice with Jaguar defensive lineman Tyler Lacey. So that will just about do it. Again, we'll be back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. It'll be a Tuesday night edition of Hacker After Dark, and we do hope that you join us then. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the Hacker Ryan Green.